Greetings, YouTube. This is from last month. The League of Not Extraordinary and Not So Gentle Men. In 2009, a secret Facebook group called the Ligue de Lol, the League of Lol, led by young French male journalists, started harassing fellow journalists, writers, bloggers, and activists, predominantly targeting women and minorities, disturbing the lives and ruining the careers of their victims through barrages of sexist, racist, and homophobic insults, pornographic montages, prank calls, and Twitter-coordinated attacks online and in real life. The existence of the group was revealed last week, resulting in a flood of heartbreaking testimonials. There's a negative thread on Our Feminisme in French, and in an intense bout of soul-searching in the progressive French media, not only the victims had been ignored before last week, but most of the League members were now prominent journalists in the major left-wing publications. Several of the League members had been fired or forced to quit their job, including the League founders Vincent Glad, a journalist working for the left-wing newspaper Liberation, which I cannot say in the proper French pronunciation, who had been quite vocal in the past 2 months in his support of the Yellow Vests movement. Glad's Langue de Peau Hortongue Twitter account has, for instance, particularly aggressive against a certain female blogger and consisted in tweet after tweet of horrid, crude, sexist insults. Similar groups have since been revealed to have existed in Vice France and HuffPost France. And the first two comments I thought were rather cogent. So let me get this straight. This is a coordinated group of progressive journalists who are attacking, harassing, and ruining the careers of women and minorities for laughs. Are you fucking kidding me? And wait, young progressive men, in quotes, are multiple news organizations created groups for the purpose of harassing women and minorities independently of each other. It's the idea of this concurrent evolution that is particularly terrifying. That the hatred is really so prevalent that these secret groups sprouted up like mushrooms because the toxic shit is everywhere. What the actual fuck? And I have no wonder about the U.S. I have to wonder about the U.S. left-wing media. I would not really probably wonder about the left-wing media in the U.S. I don't imagine it's any better. A lot of this is all old boys club stuff, and we don't need it. So it's been my experience that even amongst the guys who consider themselves to be the most open-minded, and I guess if you want to use the vernacular of the younger generation, sorry, I fix my hood now that my cat's not there. Even the most woke men can be horribly sexist and racist. It takes a concerted effort to pry apart your own prejudices and your own bigotries, and it isn't work that a lot of people are willing to do, particularly when men have been told from birth that everything that they say and do is fine, and everything that everyone else says and does is not. Men are just entitled from a very young age to believe that every utterance from them is wisdom, and everything else that anyone else says is just doggerel. And that kind of an entitled attitude goes in deep. Not to mention you're just your average, everyday, toxic masculinity, which is a constant barrage of horrible jokes at the expense of other people. And this is one of the reasons that I don't spend a lot of time talking to men, because I just don't like talking to them. And I have to call them on their bullshit, which makes me even less likely to want to talk to them. I have ceased talking to numerous people in my life because they were cracking an endless stream of sexist jokes or racist jokes. And at least when I'm at work and it happens and I can call them on their bullshit, I don't have to talk to them again unless it's related to a professional engagement at the company. But it's astounding to me that this isn't more well known. I'd like to say that people that vote progressive are going to be on the better side of history, and I think there's probably a percentage chance that they are, a higher percentage chance that they are, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be safe, because we know that's not true. And this is a case right here. People being harassed out of their jobs, not just online, but in real life. I mean, concerted effort. I mean, they had to go to the lengths of creating Facebook groups. This is not just an accident. It didn't just happen. This isn't just locker room talk. This was an attack on women and minorities. Deliberate, with intent. And the men that were caught in this deserve to lose their jobs and have their careers ground to a screeching halt. Because they're not safe to be around, and I sure as shit don't want to hear their words if they're journalists. Because everything they say is now tainted. Every word they've ever written is now tainted. I have to wonder what their actual agenda was. So, this is disturbing, and sadly not all that surprising. But I'm not going to defend these assholes. These people deserve what they've gotten. They did this to themselves. This was not done to them. This is most definitely a situation where they hurt themselves, and they deserve everything that they suffer